Do you think people are more obsessed about sounds and living in an apartment?
There are more sounds. One thing that when you live in the city and you go and stay at somebody's place in the suburbs, it's like so quiet. It gives you that I've been buried. I can feel the dirt on my chest, mother feeling. That's why I wrote in one of my poems about I like the sound of sirens, because something's happened, but at least somebody's going to fix it. You know, lots of people go, how can you live in the city with the noise of sirens all the way? It's like, well, sirens are ambos and policemen and fire officers doing their job, and you never hear that in the suburbs.
The sirens are sirens, they comfort me. Something has happened, but at least someone is coming to fix it.
So anything could be happening. Any number of murders, God knows what could be happening, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Well, this kind of goes back to your childhood in a way, and I'm just thinking of the idea of, you told me before, that you grew up on the North Shore, and you used to walk up to the crest of the hill and look at the city.
Yep. And I didn't even really know why. I just knew this was something I did as a teenager, like since I used to go and stand up by Westgate Boys High School. Now, my father taught there. My brother was at school there. It was just along the road from the primary school where I studied when I was little. But mostly it was because it was at the crest of the hill and you could see the city from there. It drove my mother spare. She'd say, where are you going? I'm just going for a walk. I'm going up the road. And she would be like, why? Because she was naturally really worried for me, because there were a lot of creeps about in cars, and they stopped all the time and hassled me. But they didn't worry me. I just wanted to get out of the house and get out and look at somewhere else, because I guess really deeply I didn't want to be there.
Yeah. And so, fast forward to 2014.
Right.
You're living in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Right in the guts of the action. And so this is where you like to be?
Yeah, I always wanted to live in an apartment. And I'll tell you what it was. One day at a time.
This is it, this is it. This is life, the one you get. So go and have a ball.
You remember that sitcom?
Yes.
And they lived in an apartment. It was
solo mum, two
solo
girls?
mum and two daughters.
Yeah.
Valerie Bertinelli, who my brother was deeply in love with, and the Phillips girl, who had a troubled life, as we know, Mackenzie Phillips, and the mum. But the character I really liked was Schneider, who was the manager.
Schneider.
And he would come in, and he was this. You know, he had this ridiculous accent, and he would come in and he had a packet of cigarettes rolled up in the sleeve of his T-shirt.
He was the maintenance guy, the super, as they call him in the States.
Dwayne, tell me her name.
Her name is Jennifer Delagrande. Ooh, doesn't even begin to cover it. And the way she moves, it's like watching an angel float through a bowl of jello. Is that light switch? Is it off?
And I thought that would be so cool to live in an apartment where there was a super and they knew how to fix stuff, and so you could just call them when stuff went wrong. And I thought, yeah, that's where it's at, living in a small place and being surrounded by people rather than living off on your own.
Which takes us back to the sirens being comforting rather than disturbing.
Yeah.